Good morning. Not morning. I know. That's right. And that's how you get a group quiet. Let's try this. How about Boomer? Isn't it fun to be in a museum and do that? It just feels like a natural. So earlier today, when it was morning, that's how it's going. Earlier today, we had it's a day of celebration, and we had the outstanding seniors from every college across the campuses today, and it's like a day of joy. It's a busy day, the kind of day where you forget whether it's morning or the afternoon, but it's a really special day, and I love that today is both our outstanding alums and our most outstanding students that are seniors going into what will soon be their last semester. So thank you all for being here. I also love the size of this event. I commented today that it was just those individuals that had won the award and a few members of the family and friends, and it just feels a lot more intimate and a lot more special. So we're thrilled that you're here. I have a couple of introductions to make. I believe I've seen all of them here. It would always be a mistake to not recognize your board to the extent you'd like to retain your job. And they do a remarkable job. Would like to introduce the chair of the OU Board of Regents, Anita Holloway. I do not see Rick Nagel or Eric Stevenson, but would not want to overlook them. In absentia, we should probably clap for them. All right, I do see Regent Rick Brott and his wife Barbara. And Regent Ken Waits. Thank you for being here. Is former Regent Natalie Shirley here? Well, she wanted to be here. That's right. This time of year, I often invoke the fact that it's the thought that counts in lieu of an actual gift. Would all of those who are past recipients of the Regents Alumni Award that are here, please stand up so we can recognize you. It's great to have you all here. We have several OU executive officers, deans, and foundation administrators. Thank you all for being here. We're grateful for all you do. And worthy of clapping as well. Right, that felt like a broader commentary, and we'll just slide past that into the next part of this. Like I said, this is a day of joy. I was talking with the students earlier today, these outstanding students for their colleges, and just telling them how remarkable it is that they had been elected by their colleges to be the student representing their college, for that combination of attributes that we know uniquely qualify you to make an impact, to make a difference in the lives of others. And it's an interesting conversation to have because you're so focused when you're in college about doing well academically that I think at times we don't think about what those constellation of attributes are that allow you to make an impact and to lead a life that has that profound ability to lift the lives of others. And so we talked about it with these students that had been named by their colleges as that person, and just thought for a minute about what does it take. It's not just the academic ability, but it is necessary. It is not just empathy for others, but it is necessary. It's not just grit, but it is necessary. And you can go through the list of attributes to make an individual that person that can make a profound difference and impact in the life of others. And then I told them about today's ceremony that was to come. This idea that if they are successful, as we think they will be, that they could participate in this ceremony at some later date. This idea that you could receive the highest honor we award besides a doctorate, and there are a very tiny number of those. This idea of how do we recognize those in our community that represent the best of us, and not just those that are accomplished, but those we believe that should be recognized so they can serve as an example to all of OU and to all of the state and well beyond. And that's how we came up with our recipients that are here with us today. You all are the ones that we celebrate both in substance and in symbol. And it's this remarkable moment. That was, I think, Judge Polk's alarm going off, telling me to speed it up. Back when he worked with me in the law school, that's the way he acted. Now that he's a federal judge, he's much worse, and he will not be getting this award. No, it's fair. It's fair. The resume looks like he should, but no. If you were listening to the reasons why, that should suffice. So it's interesting, and I won't. Many of you have already sort of know this story, but I think on a moment like this, you think about what role the university plays and how critical it is. Each of us think about the path that has led us to this position where you're being recognized by your university. And I think all of us can trace back, and certainly my wife Ashley and I can, any success we have had to the university, to OU, and what it has done to impact us. And so as we're in these roles, as those that are alumni of this university or in the job that I have, we think a lot about how do we make sure this is available, not just to us but to others, this special role. And I can tell you, with the board that is here and with so many of you all that are a critical part of this, all we want is to make sure that we're worthy of the time we have in these roles and that we pass along to the next generation something that is as good and hopefully incrementally better than it was before. You think about this role of higher education and it being the quickest ladder and availability way to access the American dream. When you think about that higher education is the most likely path to prosperity and to increase your status. How do you make sure that you're expanding those opportunities for others? And that's it. That's what we've been trying to do, is during this time period be worthy of that. And it's a great moment, and not just because we beat Tennessee and Alabama in their own houses. Right. I had nearly forgotten that. Think about it all day. And here's the fun part. So do they. That's right. Rent free, and we'll see them next year. Which is what Alabama said last year. All right, I digress. As we think about what we do, I'd like us to realize that there are like 5,300 universities and colleges and higher education in America. Yet there are only 50 flagships. There's only 50 state flagships. And when I say state, I mean available to people regardless of their ability to pay. If they have the ability and they have the talent and they have the drive, there's got to be a place for them. And we look at who we are right now. And even to this day, in a moment of relative prosperity, 28% of our students are still the first in the history of their family to go to college. And they're changing their life, and they're changing the life of their family, and they're changing the life of their community in ways that are profound. And when it really works, it becomes someone that receives an award like this, like the Regents Alumni Award. So there is a thing of beauty to this, and by honoring you, we're really making an example for others. This moment is I won't hit all of them, but it's an interesting moment. Over the last several years, we're now in a position where we're growing at our fastest rate in more than 50 years. Each of the last 3 years, we've had more than 10% increases in the freshman class, expanding those opportunities. And we've pursued this sort of three legs of the stool, this idea that we have to have a place of true academic excellence, that you can't be adequate or okay. And so we're fighting for that top ranking, which is being an AAU research university. And we're well on our way. It's this idea of being accessible and available regardless of your ability to pay. It's somewhat stunning. In our state that we know needs to be lifted up economically, with the work of this board and so many people, we have actually, while we're increasing our size, the cost to attend OU in terms of average tuition and fees for the average Oklahoman over the last 6 years is actually down 26%. Need-based aid is up 49%. Scholarships are up 42%. And we're growing in a way that lifts everyone. And to us, that's exciting. Our research expenditures, a huge measure of how you become excellent and actually train the next generation. For Josh Woodward, who is here, who is the head of artificial intelligence for Google, you can learn something for this. So stay focused. He's a tough study. But as a research university, there's a special role. And especially in this era, this transformative era of going from analog to digital and now generative AI and heading towards quantum, all of this matters. The way we teach, the way we approach it, and the ability to lift generations of Americans and actually worldwide because of these technologies. And it happens, that education, that transfer, that application happens at great universities. And so we aspire to do that and to make that kind of an impact. And so many of you all have helped in so many ways. A few years ago, we launched a ridiculous fundraising campaign. We decided we were going to raise $2 billion by January 30 of 2027. Amy Noah, I believe, is here. She used to do fundraising for Purdue. They were foolish enough to let her go, and so we announced it, despite her better judgment, that we should probably think about it a little bit more. And once we announced that campaign just a few years ago, she informed me that we had to raise about $880,000 a day, 365 days out of the year until June 30 of 2027. And then I got sick. But it's stunning. We just crossed the $1.7 billion mark, ahead of our goal in terms of timing. But when you look at what that does, the biggest source of where those dollars go is to student need. And Nicole Lynn and I were talking earlier today. We had a chance to chat. And we had this conversation about what the difference is sometimes in someone pursuing a degree or not. And it can be $500. So you look at that number $2 billion and you're like, well, that seems too hard to understand. What I think sometimes is more difficult to understand and realize is that it really is $500 or $1,000 that can change that. And so we're here. We're here in an exciting moment. We have huge goals and we have ambitions that truly seem audacious. We laid out with the board our next 5 years of our strategic plan and thought, what can we do? And the idea wasn't to try and get in that AAU zone of research expenditure, sort of 600 million-ish. We were like, let's find a path to $1 billion in research that can get us there. Let's find a way to get to those top 37 public research universities in North America because our students deserve it on an individual and collective basis. And when it comes to healthcare, we completely restructured our academic health system to become a true one of those. And it has prospered and flourished in a state that is 47th in healthcare outcomes, and we know that's not good enough and it's not acceptable. That we're in a moment where that has to change. And we decided as part of our strategic plan that we're going to embrace the big goals that you see our recipients today achieving in their life. And we said over the next 5 years, now 4.5 years, and we're counting, we're going to do very tangible and real things. We're going to decrease the deaths in our state, which is disproportionately affected by cancer. We're going to decrease those deaths over the next 4.5 years by 10%. And diabetes, which is an epidemic but particularly acute in Oklahoma, that we're going to decrease unnecessary suffering and deaths over the next 4.5 years by 30%. We're going to take on these grand challenges in a way that allow us to have a healthier, better, more prosperous enterprise. And here is the trick. It's all doable. Every bit of it is doable. Sometimes things seem too big to do. But then we realize from individual inspiration that collectively we can do that. And that's why we're here today, to look at these individual inspirations that have done so much in their lives and in their careers, some over a decade or so, others over 4 or 5 or 6 decades. As you hear the recipients that are here, there is a stratification of area, of age. But what unites them is that they are perfect examples and shining examples, and most importantly, inspirational examples of what an individual can do and the power that can be harnessed when we bring it together and focus on these incredibly important fundamental needs that we have. People often want to engage in pessimism, but when you get to sit in the seat that I'm honored to be in, and you open that aperture and you look across the enterprise, and you ask yourself, what is it that we can do while we're here in these roles to make a difference? It is days like today when you have the opportunity to see the best examples within colleges and you see who the outstanding senior is for each college. And then you think about it and you get to come to an event like this where there are honorees that are all just these remarkable individuals who are heroes, who are individuals that inspire you every day. Governor Anatubby is one of my heroes. We were talking about how long he's been in the role that he has, since 1987. From 25 employees in a nation that was struggling, all the way to some 15,000 employees, healthcare, prosperity, pride, that is deserving of a sovereign. When you see these examples, and as they walk across here and we take pictures, I think it's a reminder to all of us for what we can accomplish and what we can do to change lives. Thank you all very much. Thank you. I appreciate the effort. They don't stand for much. I'm with you, and whatever you want, sideline passes, not a problem, man. You're my guy. Right? That's what we should do, just reward amazing sort of, thought and actions. We're now basing this program in terms of who's speaking to you based on height. That's right. And so I'd like to introduce to you someone who's doing a remarkable job for us, the Assistant Vice President for Annual Giving and Alumni Engagement and Executive Director of the OU Alumni Association. Please welcome Marty Wold.
Well, thank you, President Harris. On behalf of the University of Oklahoma, the OU Board of Regents, and the OU Alumni Association, welcome to the 2025 Regents Alumni Award ceremony. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Instituted in 1987, the Regents Alumni Award, presented by the Board of Regents and the Alumni Association, recognizes and honors the university's most outstanding alumni and friends. Recipients are selected based on their service to the university and support of OU's vision and mission. The name of each recipient is engraved on a plaque in the Oklahoma Memorial Union as a permanent testament to the important role these OU alumni and friends play in the life of the university. Today's honorees all serve as exceptional representatives of the university, and we are pleased to be able to present each of them with the Regents Alumni Award. The service and contributions of today's honorees are detailed in the print program and available on the Regents Alumni Awards website. And now to introduce our first recipient, Governor Bill J. Anatubby. Chickasaw Nation Governor Bill Anatubby has been a transformative leader and steadfast partner to the University of Oklahoma. Since 1987, his leadership of the Chickasaw Nation has fostered deep strategic collaborations with OU, advancing indigenous scholarship, cultural representation, and student success. When Governor Anatubby took office in 1987, the Chickasaw Nation included 250 employees. Today, the Chickasaw Nation is one of Oklahoma's largest employers with more than 15,000 employees. Governor Anatubby has overseen the development of nearly 400 tribal programs and services, as well as more than 100 tribal businesses. In 2018, the Chickasaw Nation endowed OU's Native Nations Center, supporting its expansion and the renovation of Copeland Hall, including the creation of the Hall of Native Nations, which honors Oklahoma's 39 tribes. In 2023, the center was elevated to the office of the president, strengthening OU's role as a national leader in indigenous research and deepening tribal university collaborations. Governor Anatubby has also championed environmental initiatives and tribal engagement, supporting joint research efforts in sustainability and climate science that benefit tribal communities across Oklahoma. His focus on education has opened pathways for Chickasaw students through scholarships, cultural programs, and campus partnerships, most notably the 2021 short-term financing of cross-village housing, which enhanced student life and university infrastructure. Through his visionary leadership, Governor Anatubby has left a lasting mark on OU, elevating indigenous voices and reinforcing the university's mission of excellence, equity, and community impact. Governor Anatubby is not only a friend to OU, but a faithful steward of its future. Please join me in welcoming Governor Bill J. Anatubby. Our next recipient is Betty Catherine Permeter Faledo. Betty Catherine Permeter-Fileto is a pioneering engineer for the National Airspace System Architecture, civil rights advocate, and community leader. As a high school senior, she became the first female student to integrate Earlsboro High School following a landmark desegregation case supported by her parents and the NAACP. She earned degrees in mathematics, human relations, and civil engineering from the University of Oklahoma and the University of California, Berkeley, launching a distinguished career at the Federal Aviation Administration. At the Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center, she broke barriers as the first black woman on the computer programming staff and the first female instructor who co-developed IT training programs for transitioning air traffic controllers to data system specialists. As a senior systems engineer for the NAS at the FAA headquarters in Washington, D.C., she helped shape NAS integration strategies for air and space transportation vehicles and received awards for leadership, innovation, and mentorship. During her college years, Filato promoted racial equality. In her community, she supported the Urban League and the YWCA. Through the YWCA Board of Directors, she co-founded Oklahoma City's first Women's Resource Center, promoting racial harmony and professional development. As a dedicated volunteer, she supports educational efforts through Oklahoma University and Oklahoma libraries, history programs, museums, and television. She is also an Oklahoma Hall of Fame Publishing Board member. In Washington, D.C., she supported outreach efforts in city neighborhoods. At St. John's Episcopal Church, she worked with the Washington Interfaith Network's Education Committee to help bring several Washington, D.C. public schools up to code. Other efforts she supported include the Kennedy Center, Smithsonian Institute, Washington, D.C. libraries, Washington, D.C. museums, and Washington, D.C. Black History educational programs. Filato has authored several historical works, including Oklahoma's Brown Decision Test Case, A Participant's Perspective, Black Interpreters Living Among the Absentee Shawnee Indians in Early Central Oklahoma, The Chronicles of William Ellsworth, Shawnee, and Black Schools in Pottawatomie County, Oklahoma, 1891 to 1966, and School Censuses 1930 to 1950, documenting her rich legacy in Oklahoma and beyond. A long-serving Dodge Family College of Arts and Sciences board member and active community leader, Filato is celebrated for her lifelong commitment to equity, education, and public service. Please welcome Betty Catherine Permeter-Filato. Our next recipient is Hemant Garadia. Hemant P. Garadia, an alumnus of the University of Oklahoma, distinguished himself as a student with numerous achievements, including the Award for Excellence in Chemistry. He contributed to biomedical research through a summer research program, studying the enzymic oxidation of ethyl morphine and its effects on dissolved oxygen in human plasma. His academic foundation at OU set the stage for a remarkable professional journey. As a committed alumnus, Hemant has demonstrated outstanding leadership, collaborating with alumni, faculty, students, and staff to advance the university's mission. Garadia joined his brother's small business, Vinmar, in New York in 1981. He helped grow it into a global enterprise and later succeeded him as CEO for 20 years. Garadia's son has succeeded him as CEO, allowing Garadia to serve on a number of nonprofit boards and to manage his family office, which invests in various businesses. Garadia serves on the board of advisors at the Gallagher College of Engineering, offering strategic advice to shape programs and initiatives that strengthen engineering education and research. As a member of the board of advisors, he supports efforts in academic excellence, faculty and student recruitment, fundraising, and enhancing the college's national and global stature. As a leader of Vinmar International Ltd., Garadia transformed the company into a global industry leader through his visionary strategy and innovation. His commitment to education is further reflected in his mentorship and engagement with students, providing industry insight and supporting the next generation of engineers. Together with his wife, Indrani, Garadia established a research fellowship at Texas Children's Hospital Cancer Center to advance pediatric cancer research. Their philanthropy also extends to multiple educational and research initiatives at the University of Oklahoma. Through Prathram USA, Garadia has championed educational access for underprivileged children in India, significantly improved literacy and advancement opportunities for millions. From international student to global business leader, Garadia's journey exemplifies perseverance, vision, and generosity. His dedication to education, cross-cultural understanding, and global collaboration underscores his belief in the transformative power of learning and unity. Please welcome Hemant P. Garadia. I'm not going to lie that enzymic oxidation of ethyl morphine had me sweating a little in my preparation. Our next recipient is Larry H. Lemon. Larry H. Lemon has had a distinguished career in the asphalt industry, serving multiple terms as chairman of the Oklahoma Asphalt Pavement Association and over 40 years on the National Asphalt Pavement Association board, where he served as chairman from 2009 to 2010. In recognition of his contributions, NAPA established the Larry H. Lemon Quality in Construction Award. He remains active on several committees and participates in men's Bible studies at Acts 2 Methodist Church in Edmond, Oklahoma. The Lemon family shares a deep, multi-generational connection with the University of Oklahoma. Lemon's parents, Haskell and Irene Lemon, graduated in the 1930s. Larry earned both a BBA in management and an MBA, while his wife, Susie, earned a BS in secondary education. Their children and grandchildren have also attended. As president emeritus of Haskell Lemon Construction Company, Larry's 49-year career spanned roles from laborer to president. The company, founded by his parents in 1948, has been widely recognized for its contributions to infrastructure projects across the region. In 2010, a bequest from his parents' estate helped establish the Haskell and Irene Lemon Construction Science Division in the Gibbs College of Architecture. Lemon and his wife frequently participate in OU's Osher Lifelong Learning Program. He and Susie are members of the Seed Sower Society and the Arthur B. Adams Society in the Price College of Business. In 2024, Lemon and Susie, along with his sister, Martha Jean Lemon, created the Lemon Family Distinguished Speaker Series Fund to benefit both the Gibbs College of Architecture and the Price College of Business. Their philanthropic support also includes naming the Larry H. and Susan H. Lemon Conference Room in the Gene Rainbolt Graduate School of Business in Oklahoma City, the Susie and Larry Lemon Game Room in Headington Hall, the Larry and Susie Lemon Third Base Plaza at Loves Field, and the National Championship Trophy display in the Switzer Center. Please welcome Larry H. Lemon. Our next recipient is Nicole L. Lynn. Nicole L. Lynn's journey from the University of Oklahoma to national prominence is a testament to her tenacity, excellence, and commitment to lifting others as she rises. As an undergraduate in the Price College of Business, Lynn stood out for her academic performance and leadership, earning a place in a prestigious Wall Street analyst program. She later returned to OU for law school, where she excelled in moot court competitions, served as managing editor of the American Indian Law Review, and graduated with honors, earning induction into the Order of the Barristers and Order of the Coif. After passing the Texas Bar in 2015, Lynn joined Norton Rose Fulbright in Houston. While practicing law, she began representing NFL players, quickly earning recognition for her ability to balance a demanding legal career with her growing presence in sports representation. In 2019, she became the first black woman to represent a top 3 NFL draft pick and has since negotiated 2 of the largest contracts in NFL history, including Jalen Hurts' $255 million extension. Nicole's impact extends beyond her professional achievements. She has mentored OU students, spoken on campus, supported admissions efforts, and served on the OU Law Young Alumni Board. Her book, Agent U, reflects her mission to empower others to pursue their goals with purpose and clarity. Lynn exemplifies the values of the University of Oklahoma College of Law: excellence, leadership, and service. Her career reflects the power of an OU education and the profound impact one alumna can have on a profession and a community. Please welcome Nicole L. Lynn. Our next recipient is Judy R. McReynolds. Judy R. McReynolds is a nationally recognized executive whose career blends strategic leadership with a deep commitment to mentorship, education, and community service. As chairman and CEO of a multi-billion-dollar logistics company, she has led with vision and purpose for over a decade, earning accolades such as the Arkansas Business Executive of the Year, induction into the Arkansas Business Hall of Fame, and recognition on Forbes' 50 over 50 list. McReynolds' influence spans industries and communities. She has been honored as one of the best CEOs for women, a distinguished woman in logistics, and a top 100 woman of impact. Her leadership extends to national and regional boards, including OG&E Energy Corp., First Bank Corp., First National Bank of Fort Smith, and the American Trucking Associations, where she is the retired chair of the American Transportation Research Institute. A proud OU alumna, McReynolds actively supports student development by hosting Price College of Business students at her company's headquarters, offering real-world insights and mentorship. She has also served on college boards, helping shape academic programs and strengthen ties between education and industry. Beyond business, she is a passionate advocate for children and a driving force behind community engagement and philanthropy. McReynolds' story exemplifies the values of excellence, service, and leadership that OU strives to instill in its students. Her continued success and visibility elevate the university's reputation and inspire the next generation of leaders. Please welcome Judy R. McReynolds. Our next recipient is Keith A. Reed. Colonel Keith A. Reed, a dedicated member of the Oklahoma Air National Guard, has served multiple tours in support of Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom. He is currently assigned to Joint Force Headquarters, Oklahoma Military Department in Oklahoma City. As Oklahoma's Commissioner of Health, Reed also chairs the Association of State and Territorial Health Officials Performance Improvement and Accreditation Policy Committee, where he advances public health standards nationwide. A committed advocate for public health education, he serves on the Hudson College of Public Health Advisory Board and played a key role in establishing the Center for Public Health Practice. Reed actively supports student development by facilitating practicum opportunities, serving as a mentor, and engaging in public health grand rounds. He regularly consults with Hudson College leadership on emerging public health issues and training needs, offering valuable insights into policy and practice. A proud and engaged alumnus, Reed exemplifies leadership, service, and a deep commitment to advancing the field of public health and supporting the next generation of professionals. Please welcome Keith A. Reed. Our final recipient this afternoon is Josh Woodward. As the Vice President of Google Labs and Gemini, Josh Woodward leads teams focused on turning artificial intelligence research into new products. His leadership was recently recognized by Time magazine when they named him one of the 100 most influential people in AI. Before his time in Silicon Valley, Woodward grew up in Edmond, Oklahoma, and was a leader at OU. He was a member of the PLC class of 2002 and later served as a PLC advisor. He was also involved in the JCPenney Leadership Program, Campus Activities Council, Crimson Club, and Payette, and he was named the Outstanding Senior Man of his graduating class. After graduating from Oxford, Woodward joined Google as an intern and has worked on a series of early-stage projects since then. He helped build the first several generations of Chromebooks, co-founded Google's Next Billion Users effort for first-time internet users, and led the expansion of Google Pay. Today, he oversees a portfolio of cutting-edge AI products used by hundreds of millions of consumers and developers around the world, including Gemini, Notebook LM, AI Studio, Flow, and more. Woodward and his wife Kate, also a proud Sooner and the outstanding senior woman of her graduating class, have remained dedicated supporters of OU and taught all their kids how to sing Boomer Sooner from a young age. Please welcome Josh Woodward. To conclude our ceremony today, before we get another round of photos, I am pleased to introduce today's chant singer, Megan Austin. Megan will be a May 2026 graduate of the Vocal Music Education and Arts Management programs. Please welcome Megan.
O-K-L-A-H-O-M-A, our chant rolls on and on. Thousand strong join heart and song in alma mater's praise. Of campus beautiful by day and night, of color